You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
Hey guys, I'm Kate Max. You might know me from my popular online series, The Running Interview Show, where I run with celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, and more. After those runs, the conversations keep going. That's what my podcast, Post Run High, is all about. It's a chance to sit down with my guests and dive even deeper into their stories, their journeys, and the thoughts that arise once we've hit the pavement together. Listen to Post Run High on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, from Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month we're talking about go-getters, women who purposefully, or sometimes accidentally, acquired life-changing wealth, good fortune, or influence. Today's Womanican was one of the earliest known businesswomen. She and a number of women created a thriving merchant community that spanned the Middle East. Their correspondences, contracts, loans, and personal notes alike paint a picture of their early exploits into trade, investments, and even contraband, nearly 4,000 years ago. Let's talk about Ahaha. Around 1900 BCE, a trade empire blossomed across the Assyrian Empire. Merchants from the city-state of Ashur in modern-day Iraq had established a trading route to Anatolia, part of modern-day Turkey. In doing so, they'd created one of the first long-distance trading enterprises. It was an impressive sight. Caravans of up to 300 donkeys traversing mountains and plains, laden with textiles and tin. They'd return home with gold and other precious metals in exchange. Since the westward route from Ashur was so long, many merchants moved out to the city of Kanesh, midway along the road. That allowed them to keep a closer eye on the trade. They built settlements there and essentially created a small trading community of expats. Many of the merchants who moved out to Kanesh were men, but trade in Ashur continued under the watchful eye of these merchants' wives, and sometimes single women too. They were businesswomen in their own right. Some created the textiles that would journey westward. Others dealt in loans and contracts, managing the investments that kept trade alive. These women were accountants, appraisers, and bankers. As business partners, these women were on site in Ashur for emergencies and could forward important documents to Kanesh from home offices, all while keeping up their home and families, of course. Their independence translated into political freedom as well. Women in Ashur and Kanesh could ask for divorces and be treated on equal footing to their husbands in the legal proceedings. Ahaha was one of these women. She was one of 5 siblings in a trading family. We don't know much about her day-to-day work, but what we do know about her comes from one other important material traded back and forth in these caravans: letters. The letters usually took 6 weeks to travel between Ashur and Kanesh, but they kept merchants and family members up to date in both cities. We're able to read these letters nearly 4,000 years later because they were pretty sturdy. They were written on clay tablets, often no bigger than a person's palm. The writer would use a stylus to impress cuneiform, an early form of writing, into the clay. Then the tablets were dried and wrapped in another sheet of clay with the name of the writer and the recipient, like ancient envelopes. The written word had been around for a while, but the Assyrians were among the first men and women to write their own letters rather than dictating to scribes. These letters contain records of loans, investments, and ledgers, but they're also personal. In one letter, a husband asks his wife back in Ashur to safekeep his ledgers. In another, a woman complains about a financial dispute, asking the addressee, "Send me the price of the textiles, cheer me up." Other letters even detail the underground world of smuggling between the two cities. In order to avoid higher taxes on certain goods, merchants devised ways to keep their shipments under wraps. In one tablet, a merchant named Buzazu urged his merchants to use an alternate route to deliver tin to the city. Failing that, he instructed, "Let them make small packets of my tin and introduce them gradually to Kanesh, concealed in their underwear." Buzazu was Ahaha's brother. One letter we have from Ahaha is addressed to another sibling, asking him for help after finding her share of profits was missing. Apparently, Buzazu wasn't above skimming some silver off the top of the family trade. Ahaha was an investor in what was essentially an early joint stock company. She and other merchants came together to finance a caravan of textiles that would travel to Kanesh. There, the textiles would sell for a higher price of silver and bring the profits back to the investors in Ashur. But Ahaha's share, 13 pounds of silver, was missing. "You are my brother," she wrote. "I have no one except you. Do not listen to anyone's slander. Pay attention to my request while it is still time to be obliging, and to save me from financial stress and dispatch to me at least 10 pounds of silver, so that nobody should see the day of my ruin." Who's to say if Ahaha saw her silver returned? But her letters are part of a trove of 23,000 clay tablets excavated in the ancient merchant's town of Kanesh. Many of these were written by women, archived in their homes to keep track of the comings and goings of their finances. Today, they paint a picture of a community of early businesswomen, of varying professions and skill sets, creating a thriving network of trade and strategy. All month, we're talking about go-getters. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Talk to you tomorrow.
Hey guys, I'm Kate Max. You might know me from my popular online series, The Running Interview Show, where I run with celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, and more. After those runs, the conversations keep going. That's what my podcast, Post Run High, is all about. It's a chance to sit down with my guests and dive even deeper into their stories, their journeys, and the thoughts that arise once we've hit the pavement together. Listen to Post Run High on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Before there was internet fraud and phone scams, there were always swindlers. Female swindlers too. Discover the stories of women from the past who not only survived but thrived as con artists and thieves. How did they use their feminine characteristics to swindle in a world where men made the rules? Join me, Lucy Worsley, historian and author, and my all-female team in Lady Swindlers, wherever you get your podcasts.